Hello, this is Joel the Nose. Welcome to another edition, and this time I'm going to be doing a review of Tom Ford's fragrance Costa Azzurra Acqua, which is the second edition from the original that was released in 2014 of Costa Azzurra, and this is the updated version which was released this year in 2019, again by the House of Tom Ford, which is a designer, not a niche house, but a designer, obviously very high-end American fashion house, who has released a number of very popular and very well-liked fragrances. This fragrance is actually described as a woody aromatic with facets of fougere and citrus. That's how the house describes it. So basically, it's got a lot going on there. It's hard to, I think, give it a real personality based on their own description. It is a unisex fragrance, so it can be worn either way, although I think this tends more to the masculine side. Again, this was released in 2019. The nose behind this is the same nose that released the original one in 2014, and that is Yann Vasnier. Interestingly enough, he is a very prolific perfumer, and if you look him up, you will see pages and pages of perfumes that he's behind, from pop icons like, for example, he's done Adam Levine's, he has done other, like 4 or 5 other Tom Fords, he has done Loud by Tommy Hilfiger, which was about 9 years ago, and he's also done, interestingly enough, which I found, about 4 or 5 years ago, he did Success by now President Donald J. Trump. I'm not going to get into politics because that's not the channel. Although I think maybe it would be kind of interesting. What do you guys think? Almost rebrand the channel Perfume and Politics? No, that's okay. I'll leave it out for now. The top notes as listed, as kind of searching around and getting all the information and looking at the different sites. The top notes are Myrtle, lemon, and Junipberry. Mid notes are Cypress and pine needles. Base are amber, Lentisque, which is also known by the name of Mastic, and then Laddanum. So there you have it. Let's jump right into the review. I don't have a bottle with me because I actually got this at my local Sephora this morning and sprayed it on. And I did about 4 or 5 sprays, my typical sprays, which I do back of the hands, back of the neck, both sides of the neck, inside of one of the arms. So I did 5 sprays. I got a good, surface area all over me. And the bottle is, again, since I don't have it, if you've seen in the original one, the second one, it's kind of a blue bottle, classic Tom Ford, kind of like square bottle, small, and it's blue. I'll put up a picture for those of you who haven't seen it, but again, very typical classic Tom Ford. Let's get right into it. My first impression when I smelled it to my hand after about 30 seconds of spraying it on was a big, juicy drop of liquid, water, almost like a big, juicy raindrop. It definitely came off as very aqua and watery and kind of cool to me at the start. But that was very short-lived. It was like literally gone within minutes, that kind of juicy water, big, almost like a big raindrop falling on your head, which was kind of cool. And it was a very round note. It wasn't sharp, you could feel the roundness, again, like a raindrop. That's, I think the best description. It's very round. Immediately then, within 30 seconds, you get very much a strong lemon scent. And again, there's a lot of lemon in almost all the notes, all the way from the top down to the base. Almost all of these notes, the major notes here, have some type of lemon aspect to them. So that comes through very strongly here. I think also that top note, because not only do you have lemon, but you have myrtle, and if you look at myrtle, if you've ever smelled it before, it has a lemon-esque quality. So I think when the perfumer was blending this and coming up with the composition, clearly he was building it initially around this lemon kind of quality, because almost every note, again, all the way from the top to the mid to the bottom, there's a note everywhere that has that lemon quality. Now, what did it smell like to me? if you see my reviews, I like to try to relate it to something very concrete. It smells like Pledge. For those of you who don't know what Pledge is, it's a furniture spray that we use here in the United States. It's got a very lemon, it's scented with lemon. It's been used, you know, for 40 years or longer, and you spray it on wood and it's a cleaner. It's a nice smell, but for a cologne or for a fragrance or for a perfume, for me, this is the problem with odor associative learning. And you've heard me talk about this before in some of my other videos, but maybe for other people, you didn't get this. For me, who's grown up with Pledge, my mom used it when I was a kid, my whole life, every Saturday, cleaning all the wood furniture with Pledge. So this takes me there. So immediately I've got this kind of, you know, not so great view of it because I don't want to wear Pledge on my body. Then, you know, the mid notes, I'm sorry, the top notes, you also get a little, you definitely get salty. There's a salty kind of, and I think they're trying to go for that salty seawater. There's no doubt that salt runs throughout the entire composition. You get that. And you actually get a little pepper at the beginning too, and I think that comes from the Junipberry because that is a classic kind of pepper quality to it. So you kind of get a mix of salt and pepper, but the salt is stronger. It definitely comes through stronger. After about 20 minutes and it starts to kind of go into the mid notes, that lemon, it's not a sweet or sour lemon, which is very interesting. Again, it's this kind of it's just a very synthetic lemon. You know, it just, this whole fragrance is kind of very synthetic to me, and it actually smells like burnt wax. I don't know if you guys remember, or when you were a child and you would go to an amusement park and you could go, for example, and you could get a toy lion if you went to the zoo, and they would have a vending machine where you could get, and it would make a wax little toy of an animal, and you'd get it out and it would be freshly made and you'd smell it and it smelled like kind of like hot wax. That's what this kind of turns into for me. So again, everything just kind of, you know, is not the most pleasant smell for me. After about an hour, the saltiness is still strong. The juiciness is completely gone. That was gone after really the first couple minutes. That juicy round note is gone. The pine needles start kicking in. It's a woodsy pine needle, leathery kind of smell mixed together. And if you look, you know, those are all the notes, you know, including the laddanum and the amber. Clearly, the perfumer was going for a laddanum amber accord here, which gives you that kind of leather woodsy smell. I definitely get that kind of pine needle again, but it just smells fake to me. So when I smell the pine needles, it's like if I was in a fake forest or like a fake Christmas tree, not a real Christmas tree or not a real forest. So that's again kind of the theme that I'm getting through this entire fragrance for me. After a couple hours, the projection for me completely faded. So this goes to a skin scent after about 2 hours. So the sillage, the projection was not great after a couple hours. The lasting power was not great on my skin. Again, you know, everyone's going to have a different reaction. If you read different reviews, I think you see people got, you know, I guess a lot longer, effect on their skin. I didn't get that here. I got it. It was done pretty quickly. But after a couple hours, it definitely goes down into the base, which is that amber accord. Again, that Lentisque or Mastic, which is kind of a more warm, leathery. But now that lemon scent, which is still there, because that lemon runs, again, as I said kind of earlier, it's through each of the notes, through each of the top, the mid, and the base. That leather stays with, or that lemon stays with you, and it now kind of reminds me of pine sol. I hate to say it again, but pine sol is another cleaning, you know, famous cleaning fluid here in the United States. And this is again the problem with odor associative learning and fragrances. And if you read about perfumery, you know lemon is a very tough, basically raw material to put into fragrances because most people associate it with cleaning supplies. And I got to tell you, it smells like pine sol to me here. So after 3 hours, the fragrance was almost completely gone for me. It was strictly a skin scent at that point. After 4 hours, it was basically done. So I didn't get much lasting out of this. So I got to say, overall, not very pleased with this. You saw my review just the other day. Brooks Brothers, was only about a 3.5 hour projection, but the scent was amazing, and it was $15. This you're going to spend well over $100 for, just for the the small, for the 50 ml bottle. So I just don't think it's worth that type of money. I think there's much better Tom Fords that you can go for. I think you can read the reviews. A lot of people have reviewed all their stuff, but in the end, I think this is a salty, lemony, pine needly, pine sol, waxy kind of smell. You see where I'm going. Everything smells kind of fake or synthetic to me. Fake forest, I said pine sol, I said burnt wax, and I just, again, was, for a Tom Ford fragrance and the type of money you're paying, it's not something that I would go out and spend my hard-earned money on. And like I say, go out, try it first. Don't do a blind buy. Maybe you have a different opinion. I'll wrap it up there. If you have a different opinion, you think I'm crazy, please leave some comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you agree, disagree. I would also love if you want to subscribe. I appreciate it. You subscribers that are with me now, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking with me as I kind of bumble my way through a lot of this, but I hope I'm getting better with each video, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'm enjoying putting this out there. So have a great day, everybody, and I will be back soon.